Welcome back to Gulf News' Gadget Review. Today we have the brand new Huawei Watch D, which is literally your health on your wrist. And why am I saying that? We'll discover when I unbox. There are several things in the box. One is the watch itself. Then you have this measuring strap. What it helps you do is it helps you know the wrist circumference, and that's because this watch is not just a regular watch. It helps you monitor your blood pressure and your heart rate pretty accurately using the oscillometric system, because of which it has to be very accurately done, and because of which you have something called an airbag which kind of line the strap, and it actually fills up and expands as your blood pressure is being read, and then it deflates. Now there is a proper guide on how you can do an accurate blood pressure reading. There is a little QR code right on top of the watch when you open it, when you unbox it, which tells you. You even have a written guide that helps you do exactly what you need. So that's about what's in the box. Yes, of course, and then there's the charger. We've switched on the watch. It works on the Harmony OS system. This watch is compatible with, of course, all Huawei smartphones, and also with other iOS phones and with Android phones. So this is the Huawei watch face for the new D watch, and it's, as you can see, pretty detailed, and I love the interface because you can see everything clearly, and there are several ways of toggling. So because it's a responsive watch, of course, the swipe, and this is where you do your blood pressure reading. And then, as you can see in this watch, you have these airbags that kind of line the inside of the wrist, which helps measure it, because when you press the measurement for the blood pressure, it inflates and it actually takes a very accurate systolic and diastolic reading. And then, of course, your heart rate. And then you can actually take your SpO2, your oxygen levels, which are something that all of us are pretty concerned about in a post-COVID era. And then, of course, sleep time, which is also, again, very accurate, highly sensitive, and helps monitor your health. Now, the other way of toggling is you press here and you press once more, and then you can scroll up and down. You have different kinds of workouts, training, recovery heart rate, VO2 max, etc. Toggle back. You have your heart rate, you have your ECG, SpO2, skin temperature, sleep, and all the details that you need. The price for this watch is extremely reasonable compared to other devices in the market, and it is literally like having your health on your wrist, and an excellent way to kind of measure it and stay on track if you don't like going in for very detailed blood pressure measurements pretty often. And this is very handy, especially if you're outside and if you're a little concerned. But of course, like always, this does not replace proper medical advice or does not replace a medical practitioner. So at all times, this is just a guide to help you stay fit and stay healthy. So I took the D watch home, tested it out for a couple of days. I'll give you an update on that. But meanwhile, I do want to tell you about some interesting stuff that was in the box, which you really need to use for it to be helpful. One is that they actually give you two straps in large and in medium, which you need to use to be able to take the blood pressure and the ECG reading. So see, you have these kind of what they call the airbags, and that fills up, and then that uses a pressure and a system to be able to get your pretty accurate blood pressure reading. And how do you decide on which watch strap to use? You actually have this measure. So you put it around your wrist here. You put it around your wrist here, you measure it out, and they have it graded based on whether it's medium or large. And then accordingly, you can choose whether you want a medium strap or a large strap. Now you've decided you don't want the blood pressure reading or the airbag attached, then you can actually take that off. But they also have given you a replacement for one large and one medium airbag to ensure so that over time with use, etc., when one gets worn out, this can be replaced. And this little attachment that you would see, I'll show it to you on the watch, is when you want to remove the airbag and you don't want to use it and you just want to use the strap, and you can use this to clip it in. It's important how you wear this watch. Like I said, you use the wrist measurement, you get this adjusted. It's pretty easy to adjust. You just lift this up, you can move it up and down, and this moves. And basically the airbag is on one side. And once you do that, now the thing is, when you put it in, you literally need to kind of put your two fingers here so you get the exact spot on where to wear your watch to ensure, and then you make sure to push the airbag down correctly and you get a relatively snug fit. Because if you don't get a snug fit, it's not going to do your blood pressure reading. In fact, when you do the ECG reading, you might have to move it up a little more because it asks for the watch to be on the wrist bone a little more. So how do you do your blood pressure reading? Press the top button, top right hand button. You can either go slide horizontal or vertical. Now you press this measure, and then it will tell you that you need to kind of lift your hand up so that it is diagonally across your upper body, but it's not pressed down, and you kind of support your wrist. It has given me a reading, systolic, diastolic, including the pulse. Now, if you want to do the ECG reading, it'll ask you to be connected to the app. So you go into the Huawei Health app, go into the heart section, and then activate it, which I have done, which is why it is showing me a previous reading. You go into the heart and the ECG and you activate it. It says activated successfully, and now we will test it. Basically, there is a sensor here. You press down on it, not too hard, and it takes a 30-second reading, sinus rhythm. It's all fine. As with all the Huawei watches, this is designed also for a workout, so it's really useful if you are a runner.